All right, I want to welcome everybody to the family tree. Put your hands together, fam. Hey, hey, hey. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We all on the family tree.
Yeah, buddy.
Where we get the holistic update.
Man.
All right, we're going to get in today. Big B, I'm going to bring the music on down. Going to go into the session. Hopefully everybody's been doing well, staying cool, right? Because it's starting to heat up again.
Yeah, man. Trying to get crazy.
All right. There we go. Letting some more folks come on in.
Yep.
I'm going to stop sharing there, Big B. Can you see it now?
Yeah, man, I can see you.
All right. Welcome to the family tree, y'all. It's that time again. We say bring it to the tree. All that is good, all that we talk about is holistic. And I want to welcome you. If this is the first time you're coming in with us, we say it's the family tree because it's the place where what? We call it the social security. You gotta say it slow. You gotta say it slow because really it's based on these ancient laurel trees where we used to get around and we used to talk about all our problem situations, anything that was going on in the heart and the mind of the people. We shared it around the tree. We prayed around that tree too, right there, Big B.
Yeah, man. You know that's right.
We actually say join us here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for going around the tree. This is where the place where you can ask your questions, anything on your heart and mind, because we said social because social means not a security check, right? Not a social security check. It is your family, and that family is the people. So we ask you if you want to be a part of the conversation this evening, you can go look down at your reaction bar and you see where it says, which one, Big B?
It says react.
I keep forgetting. React, of course. React.
It changes every week, man.
It changes every week. So react, and you can actually click on and you can get in queue, and we'll try to answer your question. You can raise your hand like Big B up there, and you can get in and ask any question on your heart and mind, anything that you got no concern about. And if you're someone that says, well, maybe I don't want to get on the screen, on the big screen, that's all right. Put your information right in the chat box.
That's right.
And Big B or maybe Prophetess, I don't know if she's in here yet.
Haven't seen her yet, but
haven't seen her yet. We'll get to your question. We'll try to do our best to get them all, but if we cannot get everybody. We just want to let you know, all right? So we'll do our very best. If you're somebody that's calling by phone and you may have missed the prompt where it says how to actually raise your hand, don't worry. Just let us know that you're calling by phone, and we'll try to get you in. All right. I want to get started. I want to say, before we get started, give our host with the most, Big B, 1L Morgan, a hand.
Yo, buddy. What's
up, buddy?
I'm doing good. Man, look, you know me. I'm always drawing air. Daddy say, get up, homie. I said, I got this, boy.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what? What's going on, man? It's a great thing to be able to be on first name basis with God. You know, I just come to me. His first name is Daddy.
Daddy. That's right.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. It makes it good. But you know what? Everything is going well. It's been a nice day. A little, just a tad bit of humor. Other than that, everything is going well with no problems, no issues at all. So I'm doing well. I'm grateful to see everybody in the house thus far.
That's right. And they still coming in too.
Yeah,
folks
man.
Still chiming in. They coming in. Come on in. Folks is coming in. They running in.
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell us what's going on, Big B. You know, lots going on with the weather. We're in the middle of the Olympics, it looks like, and people are excited over in Paris. But you know what? This weather is very strange right now.
Man, look,
we got some levels of radiation that are hitting us right now at a rate
going to ask you about
that is at high level winds, and nobody's talking about it. What's going on? You got to start talking about it. It's only going to release in some level of with the weather. So, Big B, tell us what's going on the forefront of our favorite website with the CDC. How about
you got it, man. From FluView, updated as of July 26th. That was the last time they updated. Of course, our virus, what we call our clinical labs, guys, is trending sideways at 0.7%. And of course, we have going the outpatient respiratory illness is at 1.4% trending sideways. And of course, our weekly hospitalization rate is 0.1% per 100,000. So that's been sort of staying pretty steady, Dr. B. And look, I'll take that long as it's not getting any worse. I'm going to hang with that until everybody gets
there you
together
go. Hang
to
with
join the family tree. I take care of themselves, man. And of course, our look, our mental health moment. Mortality in CHS, that is still at 0.04% trending sideways that for deaths attributed to influenza this particular week, guys. So that's
it's
where we
low and it's keeping it low. That's what's
yeah,
up.
man.
That's what's up.
All
So
that
that
counts, buddy.
means, yep. I mean, we're keeping an eye on the bird flu. We're also keeping an eye on other things that are raising. COVID is still raising in certain parts of the country. Dengue is a virus that's actually around. That's actually starting to rise. And then, of course, did y'all know that the Black Death? They actually found a couple of cases of Black Death, man,
boy,
which is the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you, if you don't know right now that this is the time for you to start to do something, you better check your blood pressure right now or
Yeah.
check your pulse because what's happening right now is very real. I hope everyone is doing some level of detox. We are in the detox season. Going into the fall season, this is the time to
Yeah, man.
prepare. Because we got what? You got August coming up, and then we got what? August, September. So those are the times that you're preparing now for the fall. So it's time to start those cleanses. Make sure you're on point. Make sure your water's right. Do the checkpoint things we always talk about here on the show. All right. All right. I want to get started, but we always start off with the testimonies. Testimonies go a long way because testimonies is a part of whether somebody's going in a storm, coming out of a storm. So whatever the situation, we like to hear it. We want to hear if you've heard anything that's on your heart and mind that you may have done that we got a tip. It was sort of like a takeaway from the family tree, or you may have been doing something healthy on your side and you shown some level of success. We want to support you in any and everything that you do.
Yep.
So at this point in time, we're going to open up the floor. But before I open the floor, I got to say a statement because we had some sad news this week. And we had sad news. If you haven't heard, or some of y'all I know are on social media and you saw my post. But our friend, our furry friend and canine, mascot of the family tree passed away over the weekend. That was Indy. Indy passed away over the weekend. And Indy passed away over the weekend. He had a bowel blockage and it became an emergency event. But by the time we got him to the emergency, he passed away. And y'all remember, Indy is always the one that sort of lets us know what time it is to shut it down.
Yes, sir.
And whenever he's there, he's always under my leg. He's sitting under my leg, like, yo, man, it's time to shut it down.
That's right.
But, it teaches us all that, pets are really a special energy for the family. And I can always say that, animals always change the dynamic, and from that, it helps us to learn. Because I can think about Indy when he came into our life, it was the time right after my wife had her stroke. And after that stroke, she was using, she needed something to sort of bind to. And it was a way of compassion for her to get herself together as a confidant, as a passion, not we were talking about how we're going to leave or is she going to stay by herself. But guess what? She felt right, rest assured, when Indy was there.
That's
also, with Jaron, we saw Jaron, Big B, transfer from a young man
to an old man.
To a man,
Yeah, man.
And he went from the crazy hair and when we used to bring him into the studio,
man,
to now. I said this was such a blessing because Indy was one that helped him to nurture. He nurtured my son, which means that, when you are your only child, the only child has no way, sort of like says, well, I don't have to do all this. And they kind of have like I'm not used to sharing stuff and I'm not used to being responsible. But guess what? When Indy came in, he made all the responsibility because when it's time to walk, he was like, oh, I got to walk this
time to go.
He showed him responsibility at a great time. And of course, for me, he was my companion. When I came home, he was always waiting for me, waiting for that bone, waiting for whatever it is, just to say, welcome home. So We miss you, Indy. You are part. I'm putting it out in the universe that that Indy. He was a great dog and mascot of the family tree. I just wanted to just throw his picture up there so everybody see him. I don't know if everybody really see him because he used to come up to my leg and he
Yeah,
used to peek in, and you can see a little bit of him. He
you
was a
can only see
Labrador.
every once
He
in
was
a
a
while. Yep,
Labrador.
yep.
Yep. So I'm gonna show his picture real quick, and so that everybody can see him. And we just want to say for a moment for Indy, and I want everybody to can you see
There
him?
he is. That's my man.
There it is, my
There you
buddy.
go.
Indeed,
Roof,
indeed.
roof.
We used to do a chant every time we saw him, and it would be great if we could send this out to the universe. We used to say, Andy, Andy,
Indeed, yeah.
Andy, 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 and he
He
used
looks
to
like
get
he was on the
so
bird.
hyped. He used to get so hyped, boy. He was like, I'm in the game, I'm in it. So we're gonna miss you, Indy. We're gonna miss you. But again, the God has a better plan for him. He's forever in the family. So he's up there with the family and everybody else that's passed on. So rest in paradise, Indy. Well done,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
Well done. Well done. All right. Okay. Let's get started. And I want to say to everyone, if there's anyone that has anything which is a testimony on your heart and mind you want to share with the family, the door is open officially for testimony. Anything on your heart and mind, anything you got that's maybe pending or something that you want us even. Hey, Big B, we need to open up ring for prayer too. You want somebody to pray for you.
Yeah, man.
This
Look,
is what we need to start doing. I think we are in those times right now. We have to look out after each other.
yeah,
So
man.
officially, the door is open. Testimony is open for anyone who has something they want to share today with the family.
And don't
All
be
right,
shy.
Dr. Paul, I'm going to have to knock this out right quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, who is that?
Clarinda.
Clarinda! Dr. Clarinda? Is that Dr. Clarinda?
Yep.
You got a black screen. What's going on? You all right?
Yeah, I'm borrowing somebody. I've been having some computer issues and I'm borrowing somebody else's computer and he's got his camera cut off and I don't know how to turn it back on. But this will probably be the last week I'm using it. But anyway, had to bust out the ophthalmologist and some other folks today.
Uh-oh.
So I had a patient who had been taking statins. So I had to give him the history of statins. And he had actually been using red yeast rice in the past. And his doctor thought that a statin would work better for him. So he got on a statin, started having leg and joint pain. He said, well, apparently this one's not working for you. So let's try another one. Now, this is somebody who has had hypercholesterolemia and lipid issues. Apparently runs in the family. He's had these since he was 12, 13 years old. So he's not had any cardiac issues whatsoever. So, and I told him, I said, he lost some weight and we talked about the statins and he said, well, yeah, because my doctor said, that his new doctor or a group of practitioners, he didn't particularly like them because they were talking about, doing this alternative and holistic thing. I was like, well, actually, they try to save your life. I said, one of the first things they try and do is get you off them daggum statins. I said, what? I said, so how's your cholesterol level and everything responded all these years on the statins? He said, well, it hadn't responded much. I said, okay. I said, so apparently that's what your body is supposed to do. And your liver's trying to tell you, look, you're putting all that junk in here if you want. I'm going to do what I need to do. So I told him he needed to get back on the red yeast rice. So then he was talking about, when I asked him about his eyes and last eye exam, he said, yeah, my doctor told me that I'm getting the early signs of cataracts. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So I told him about irrigating his eyes, and I told him about, I even pulled up a picture of the eyeglass cup. And I said, this is what you need to use. These are the waters that you need to be drinking. I said, you're working out. I said, so you're doing everything that you need to do physically with respect to working out, losing weight, and you're doing fine. I said, but fortunately, his new doctor is an Indian guy who spends a lot of time talking to him about alternative methods to treat, who will probably be my new primary care. And so I told him, I said, you need to watch this movie called What the Health. I said, it will open your eyes about certain things, specifically mentioned that large family, large wealthy family and everything. So he said, and his wife was like, I told you, Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you that?
She was on.
Yeah, I said sometimes you might want to listen because she was a patient of mine. So she and I
Wow.
had these conversations before.
Right.
But he'd been through a couple of different doctors, and so I told him, I said, you might want to listen. I said, go online and teach yourself about these things. I said, don't take a doctor's word for granted. And fortunately, his new doctor is spending time educating him about his health. Because apparently he does alternative and holistic medicine as well.
Yes. Let's give Dr. Corinda a hand. Everybody come off mute. Please come off mute. Awesome. Thank you for being on the scene. And you're setting folks straight. And you know what? Sometimes it happens, Dr. Corinda, that you just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, man.
And sometimes it's just to drop a seed or so, just to drop a seed of information for somebody that, maybe they didn't hear it before. Yeah. And you should see the people when I sit in front of folks sit in front of me, they sit in me like with the deer with the headlight, like I have never heard this before. Yeah. I said that's because we have not been taught. We've been taught a certain philosophy of just, pharmaceuticals, allopathic concepts. Now there's an ancient concept which is more natural to us that was the original source. So we thank you, Dr. Corinda. Let's give her a hand one more time.
Yes.
Can we have the doctor's name? Can we have the doctor's name?
He's in Nashville.
He's in Nashville.
Oh, Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And one other thing, I went to see a guy who had a stroke. I did his wife's physical last year. So his wife was not available because she was up with him most of the night. So she was asleep. He had a stroke several years ago. So I was asking him what the cause of his stroke was, because his blood pressure is fine. He's on blood pressure medicine. I said, so were you having a problem with your blood pressure when you had your stroke? And his sister-in-law, his wife's sister, she yelled out, no, he had elevated cholesterol. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna let that one go.
Yeah, let it go. All you can do is help them the best way you can. I tell everyone, look at those liver numbers. Look at those liver numbers. Whenever you see cholesterol, look at those liver numbers also. Look for the bilirubin, things like that. Watch out for, the dehydration, big hydration issues. So it's a commonality with things, but glad you're on the scene there. Thank you for helping them, because
that was a specific answer to Arifa Shahid's question. Why are statins not recommended? See there? All you got to do is come to the tree.
Yeah, there you go. And also keep in mind that statins, remember, they're playing between two worlds, the HDL and the LDL, and where they're saying that there's good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. There is no bad cholesterol. I want y'all to hear that. There is no such thing as bad cholesterol. There's only cholesterol that's out of balance. You need both principles. Remember, we say wherever there's two, one is male, one is female. Right? You got to understand that. That's the way the body balances. Nothing in the body balances out of order. Everything works in like a family, a group, an organization. So we got to look at also the fact that over in places like Canada, they will not give you a blood pressure. Well, they will not give you a statin without giving you the CoQ10. We say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. But CoQ10, they know that when you take statins, it depletes the amount of CoQ10 in the body. Now, what is CoQ10? That's a coenzyme that helps you with the processing. It keeps the rhythm of the heart. When they wanted to find out what keeps the rhythm of the heart, what makes the heart just say, Big B, I think that was my last one. Boom, boom. I don't even want to do no more. They said, well, what? How does it know? They don't know what makes the heart go boom, 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 to take the next beat. They don't know. They have no idea. But they knew it had something to do with this CoQ10 thing. This CoQ10 is like a flint. Y'all know what a flint is, right? Flint, like a spark plug. It sort of fires off so that it rides to the next beat. Boom, 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 boom. It carries over. And they know that this thing called CoQ10 was that carryover. And it's found mostly in your heart and in your brain. Mostly levels. Got it? You can find it in all foods and things like that, but it's highest in your heart and in your brain. But when they started giving people the statins, they started losing their CoQ10. So they said in Canada, oh, wait a minute. If we give you this statin, you got to take the CoQ10, but not in America. You on your own. Got it? So that's the difference right there. So just keep that in mind, that CoQ10 is a good alternative for that to bring down cholesterol. But just keep in mind, do your research, talk to your cardiologist about that. All right? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Brenda. Appreciate you. Who we got there next, Big B?
Okay. Anyone else got a
Anybody
testimony?
have a testimony? Testimony in the house. Testimony in the house. Anybody?
Hello.
Hello.
That's Neitha. That's Neitha. Hey,
was that Neitha?
Hey,
yes, I just
that's Corinda's backup daddy.
Yes.
Y'all the tag team. She tagged in. She jumped in, right?
I just popped in, got on the Zoom. I missed her testimony. I have to call and find out.
Yes.
You know, I'll go when you answer my. You know, I had my hand up because I had a statement, but my testimony is everyone, and I know everyone on this family tree has the kindest, most compassionate, loving heart, and you're givers. I know that. And when you do that and when you give, it definitely comes back to you. I am a giver, and I will do for my parents. Oh, I did for my parents too, but do for my patients as I would do anyone else. And I'm saying that because I just had to tell this. One day last week, I stopped to get something to eat, breakfast. I was coming from a client, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna stop at the Cedar Park Cafe. I like going there sometimes." So I was having my grits and some eggs, and the waitress brought me the check. There was a couple who came in, was sitting right in front of me. So they gave him the check, but they gave him my check, which was cheaper. And she was looking, she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I gave you the wrong check." He said, "I'd like to have that one. That's better." And then I just commented, "You can keep it." And he said, "Okay, give it." I said, "No, I was only kidding." So when they got up to leave, his wife grabbed that check off my table. And I said, "No." She said, "This is your blessing today."
All right,
said,
now.
Awesome.
God does pay you back.
Yes,
so
he pays you back. Yes.
So I said, I will pay it forward as I always do. So the waitress, she was so nice. And I asked her, "Did she leave you a tip?" She said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Okay, here's another one." So I gave her about the fee my dinner my breakfast would cost. So I just know when you pay it forward, when you're kind and when you give, it always comes back. It does.
Yes, it does.
It does come back.
Well said, Neitha. Well said, Neitha. Let's come off mute for Neitha. Yeah.
No, but I have something to say. I got my hand up, so I have something to say.
Okay, you gonna come back to you. But I got something to say about that also, Neitha. And I put myself every morning in the right state of mind of giving. And I say that because when you're in prayer and you sort of get yourself right, because we when we are in the area of servicing people, we have to be on our A game. Because we have to be on our A game, meaning that people are coming in with every kind of situation, and I don't know what's coming through the door. So with that case, you got to stay in the right state of mind. But I remember that one thing that I was always taught, that in order for you to keep your blessings moving forward, is always be in the understanding that God has already given me enough.
I know that's right.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? That's very important. And that God will never stop providing for me. That I have more than enough. You need to say that to yourself in the morning.
I know that's right.
I have all the blessings. I have everything I need. And God always continues to keep blessing me and keeps me pressed down, shaking, and overflowing with blessings.
I know that's right.
And if you say that to yourself every day and put it out in the universe, guess what? Things always are always available for you. You never seem to have a lack. You never even think about it. It just is always there. And I remember, Neitha, a very similar thing happened to me one time. And this was not too long ago. I went out for, I think it was Father's Day. I think it was Father's Day or Mother's Day. I can't remember which one. It was either Mother's or Father's Day. And we have this vegan restaurant right out here in the Northeast. It's like way out in Bensalem. and it's called Garden of what is it called? Garden of Eden, I think it is. And I'm in there, and we had Sunday brunch. We go in there, and as we're sitting down, people are looking around. It's pretty crowded. As we're about to come out, and I'm paying the check, the lady comes over and says, "Oh," I said, "Can I have the check?" She says, "Oh, you already been taken care of." I said, "Yeah, right." I said, "I thought she was playing with me." She says, "Nah, the guy that was behind you was watching you. He just paid for your whole meal for your whole family." I said, "What?" And I looked around. The guy was long gone.
Yeah,
He
buddy.
had paid it forward and just kept on moving. I wanted to find out. I said, "Can you tell me which guy it was?" She says, "No, he asked that he not be disclosed. And he just wanted to bless you today and to say happy, I think it was Father's Day that day." And I said, "Wow, that was
Yeah, man.
amazing that
Yeah, man.
people would do that." And things
That
like
is
that will happen.
beautiful.
Things like that will happen all the time. I remember one time I was going across the bridge, right? I was going across the bridge. And I'm going across the bridge. You know how you're going in the toll and you're waiting for the guy and you got your money? Well, I
Somebody
get to,
paid
as
your
my
toll.
car ran, I came up to the car and I tried to give my money. And she said, "Oh,
Wade you through.
you can go right on through. The guy before you, he just paid for you." I said, "What?"
Wow.
Yeah.
That
I've known
awesome.
that to happen. That's
I was
Yeah,
like,
beautiful.
man.
and these are things that happen though when you're in a spirit of giving all the time. But if you're in a spirit of always holding on, see, you're holding and you're stagnating your blessing. That's why they call money currency.
Currency.
Got it? It's called currency because it has to flow. But if you harbor it up and trying to hold on to it, it's never going to happen. It only happens and you get more when you give more. You can't beat God given. Y'all ever heard that?
Means of
You can't
That's
beat
circulation.
right.
God
No.
given.
That's
And
Mm-mm.
right. That's right.
I tell you, this thing works. You go out there and just start giving tomorrow. Before I got home, you get a check and they're like, "Wow, I just gave this exact amount away today.
Man,
And here it
ain't that
is,
the
a
truth?
check coming in with the
That
same
that is
amount." And you sit there like, "Go ahead, God."
that is so
So so Nitha, you're spot on. If there's anything about the universe, you got to keep it flowing because you're always blessing. Just always never act or operate in lack. That's the key
Right.
word. Don't
Right.
operate in lack. Operate like you the richest person on the planet. That's what you
Yes,
Yes,
and
do.
yes,
I
yes.
am.
There you go. Just act like you got money, all the money, like you got
Well,
money falling out of your pocket.
well,
And
because it
anybody pick it
is.
up, that's all right, let them have it. Keep it on
Never
moving,
have it.
keep it going. And guess
Uh, uh,
what?
uh.
You're going to notice that it's going to continue to flow in your life. So
Yes.
thank you, Nitha. I needed that one right there. We needed that one. I think everybody
Dr.
got something out of
Paul,
that. Yes.
um, real quick, years ago,
That's Bianca, Doc.
That's
yes,
Bianca. Okay,
years
Yep.
good.
ago, my husband and his friend was eating, like in a restaurant, and they had breakfast, and they paid for someone else's meal. And when they went back to the restaurant, like maybe the following week, the owner had told them that they had started something because everybody after them started doing the same thing.
Wow.
So
Wow.
each person paid it forward.
Paid
And
it
it went
forward.
on for at least about 5 or 6 customers.
Wow. See?
Ain't
See?
that awesome? That's
See?
awesome. See, that spirit of giving is something that's it's incredibly contagious because people feel blessed and say, "I gotta do
Yes.
something now. I gotta do
Mm-hmm,
something. He did
mm-hmm,
something for
mm-hmm.
me." That's why when I looked up, I was looking for the I was like, "Where is he?" I just wanted to say thank you. But also, it's amazing that people are watching you. They're watching everything you do
All the time.
and people appreciate you. So that's a beautiful thing. All right, thank you, Nitha. Let's give Nitha a hand up there.
As always.
Everybody,
As
come on,
always.
beautiful Nitha. Yes,
Yeah.
Nitha. Thank
thank you
you.
for sharing,
Thank
Nita.
Thank
you,
you for
Nita.
sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for
Dr.
sharing.
Paul. Loves.
All right.
Dr. Paul, I got two.
Is
Y'all cool.
that Don? Who is that? Don?
That's
Who is that?
Stephanie. That's
Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Stephanie,
Hey, Stephanie.
Alma.
Hey, Kamar, hey, everybody. I have to share.
Go
Okay.
ahead. I heard that. Go
For
ahead.
this is the first year, the first summer in 40 years that I said I am not doing a summer program. I'm not teaching. I'm not going to create no program. I'm not going to stand in anybody's children this summer. And because I do it all year long, but I'm just this is the first time. And I'm telling you, God took care of all of my needs. And I said, no, I'm not going out. I'm not. And I didn't have to. I did not have to at all.
See?
I got a couple commissions that took care the whole summer too.
See?
Ain't that something?
That's how
you got
dad
double
works,
commissions,
Stephanie.
and it took care of the whole summer. See
I'm
there?
telling you, and I was doing what I love.
There you go. There
I
you
was doing
go.
what I love.
You can't be God given. You can't keep. I tell you, I dare you to try. I dare you to try.
Now this is a funny one. This is a funny one. My mom was in Las Vegas with her traveling club years ago. She always told this story. And when her sister that she was with were going into the, where you gamble. I don't gamble, so where you gamble. But she said they were cowboys, came and gave them each like a bundle of tickets to go and play all the games, right? Pay for them. What they didn't know, my mom has watched Cowboys every day of her life.
What?
I guarantee if I call her right now, she's watching cowboy movies.
Now that's funny.
That's funny. That's right. That is funny.
She said
the Cowboys came and gave them
all tickets to go play the machines. And she's like, oh, they were real cowboys.
Wow.
See that?
Paying it forward. It forward. See there? So he gave it the universe gave her, God gave her the desires of her heart, and then he's going to bring her a blessing, bring it in her favorite way. You do the cowboy.
God has a sense of humor too, right?
Yeah, hey, look, don't even start that for real
and
now.
He's very exact too. That's the other thing. Be very exact. So you ask for whatever you ask for, in your prayers. Be very exact and detailed. And the more detailed you are, the faster it comes.
I know that's right.
Yep. All right, Stephanie. Let's give Stephanie a hand up there.
Indeed.
Great pay it forward story. Thank you for sharing that. We appreciate that. All right, let's see who else we have here, Big B. Anybody else with a testimony before we go to the questions on the night?
I just want to say I had my hand about want to let you know first. I extend my sympathy to you in the loss of your family member, because I had the similar thing with a dog, and they become part of the family.
Yes, thank you, Lenny. Appreciate it.
And another thing, of those experiences that you have, like paving it forward, I've gone through the toll booths. That's happened to me also. So one thing, we think about the blessings that we get up every morning, inhale grace and exhale mercy. So that is something we can be thankful for. But 13 years ago today, my mother passed. And I had said I wasn't going to do anything. It seems like the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been nothing but funerals, and my ministry is singing. So one day I had 2 of them at the same day. But I said, I'm not going to do anything on this day. God has a sense of humor. One of young girls that grew up in our church called me last week and said, oh, hi, I'm Lydia. She's living in Florida. Tahira's father died and we need you to sing. I said, huh? I said, okay. She said, when is it? Wednesday the 31st. And I kind of like, I don't know. But I said, if you want this old lady to come after you grown up, I said, I'll be there. I thought about it and I said, I have to minister to the family. And I went, and they're no longer there in Philadelphia, but it was at another church. When I got there, the Bruce Hopkins was the funeral director that handled my mother. And it was very helpful because I had to deal with funeral directors here, Washington, D.C., and Virginia. And they were very good in helping me to coordinate that. And when I walked in, I said, okay, everything's working for the good. And I said, what do you want me to sing? She said, Sovereign, because he lives.
Well,
and so afterward, they went to the repast, which I didn't stay, but this lady came up to me and she grabbed me and looked me dead in my face. And she said, my husband died April, and I've been having a hard time, a real hard time. And she said, but when you sung Sovereign, God spoke to me and I'm okay. And I knew that's where I was supposed to be. So sometimes you don't know where you're supposed to be. But I knew that was the right decision that I made. And I said, well, if no one else got a blessing out of it, you made all the difference. So, then I ran over to take care of my phone because I was having technology problems into Cheltenham, where they have the phone. I think you fix it or you break it, we fix it. And when I came out, there was a guy there near Pulte, and he said, Miss, I guess he was asking for money. So I got in the car, and because I'm not going to open a pocketbook there, he didn't know that. And when I came back out, I told him to come over, and he said, this guy gave me some change. And I just gave him money. He stopped and looked at me because I gave him a real big bill. And he said, Miss, whenever you come, we'll always take care of you. I said, just go in and God bless you and stay safe. So you, like you said, you don't never know, but you always have to give back. But I really did not want to do anything, but she made the difference. And I said, well, I got to get on the Zoom with the family now because I know I have to be on the Zoom because I've been on so many Zooms.
Yes. Well, let's give Lydia a hand. Everybody come off mute and give Lydia a hand. Thank you for sharing that testimony. That's a great story. And it's all about so much about giving, and it's amazing how you give forward and it comes back so much faster to you. So many people are in lack, and sometimes the issue of lack has a lot to do with your mindset. Or where are you right now? So operate in always blessings that God has provided everything for you and always will. So thank you, Lydia. Appreciate you. All right,
Dr. Paul, let me say this. Folk, family, know this. God knows all of this is going to happen before we do. Okay.
Yeah.
But what he's doing, he's waiting for us to step into that faith and to recognize that, you know what? I'm being led to do something for a reason. Like I keep telling Dr. P every day. He said, he got the nerve to wake me up. I got the nerve to be obedient and do what he said. It's real simple.
Amen, baby. baby.
That's where it works. And nothing has happened since. There's not even a conversation that's being had that he does not know. So keep that in mind, family.
That's right. Thank you so much, Big B. That's a great testimony, buddy. All right, let's see.
Anybody else with a testimony?
Anybody else with a testimony?
I have a testimony.
All right, Nicole, go ahead.
Mine is not like the other ones, but nonetheless, it's mine.
That's right.
My testimony is I had stopped doing the green drink and just kind of got off track. Everything went out of whack, but I knew what I needed to do. So I got back on. I did like a 2 or 3 week fast without the meat, the sugar, and everything. And then I said, I need to up my activity. I have planted me a garden because my energy came back and I wasn't so achy. And I planted a garden. I planted the cucumbers are bigger than if I had one, I would bring it and show it to you guys. But I'm so proud of it. And my weight is back down. And it didn't take long. Everything is back in sync. And I feel more grounded. I take my shoes off when I'm out there.
Well,
I pray when I'm out there. I can meditate when I'm out there. Digging holes is good.
I know that's right. Well,
just wanted to share that. It's liberating. And you work up a good sweat. And you sleep real good at night. I just wanted to share that.
Well, Nicole, come on up and y'all give her a hand for digging a hole.
I like that. Digging holes is good.
It's good for you.
Keep digging those holes.
God bless. I need that cucumber.
Well, I know that's right.
Oh man, that's right. Awesome. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing that. That was a great story. So continue to stay on point, ground yourself, and all means something. Yeah, you got to. Sometimes you fall off the wagon. Fall off the wagon, dust yourself off, get back on, and keep it moving.
Fall right back on it.
That's right. Fall back on it. That's right. Okay, let's see who else we have here before
Anybody
we go.
else? If not, then we'll go up to Nita because she's got her hand up right up in the corner. Nita's the very first one up in the corner, Dr. Pink.
I have a very quick testimony, if I could.
All right, Jasmine, go right ahead.
I just want to thank everyone, Dr. Paul, all the doctors, Dr. Eloise, Dr. Clarinda, for all the information that you guys give. I have tons of notes saved in my phone from, the information that you guys provide. I've been dealing with a really tough time mentally, but the number 31 has always been very significant to me. Today is July 31st. It's my 31st birthday.
All right.
So I'm hoping,
happy
the next year ahead will be much better. I just want to thank y'all again.
Yes. Excellent, excellent. Everybody come off mute.
Happy
Give Jasmine a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Blessings.
Birthday.
Hey, Ray.
Birthday.
Yes.
That's what's up.
I didn't call you, but I just called to say happy birthday.
There you go.
I'll stop right there.
I heard that.
There you go. Awesome. And Jasmine, stay on there. We say be encouraged. Continue to stay on point, and we can help you in any way. That's what the family tree is all about. So,
and my favorite statement, Dr. Paul, stay vigilant, safe, and healthy is my desire for you this day.
True.
Hallelujah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amen. All right. Anybody else? Before we go to the family tree and we start to take some questions.
Here we go. Okay.
All right. I think we can take some questions now.
All right, Nita, you want to go up to Nita right up in the corner real quick? Go ahead, Nita.
Okay. Just for the family tree, it's not a question, but what I have been observing with most of my patients, and this dehydration, I'm finding it to be very chronic because most of us are in a chronic state of dehydration and don't realize how important water is. And what made me think about that, a patient I saw yesterday, he's having kidney issues, having kidney failure. High blood pressure has been uncontrolled. He's not a diabetic. So then it made me go, why are most of these people, even the patient I saw today, that's why I was late coming here, because I was out in the Northeast and this patient had about 25 or 30 meds and I had to reconcile all of them. And I said, oh God, all these drugs, and she's still in bad shape. You should be better. You're taking all these drugs. But she is at stage 3B kidney failure. And she didn't know that. You didn't know that. But most of these people who are having some kidney problems, it's their hydration, a lot of it.
Yes, it is. It's the hydration.
They're dehydrated. Yeah. And they don't realize how important it is. I asked her, how's your water intake? Yeah. And her aide who was there, on her table, I saw sparkling water, salsa water, and then a ginger ale. Ooh. I said, where's your water?
Yes.
Yes, where's your water? Yeah. I said, do you realize you are dehydrated? And you just don't know it. It hasn't reached the point. And the reason why she was in the hospital, because I went there to resume her services, she was in the hospital because her sodium level was low. So she's having a whole lot of electrolyte problems, and she's at stage 3 kidney failure.
Wow.
No diabetes. No problem with diabetes. She does have hypertension and she's taking drugs, but I mean, the medicine for hypertension, that was just one of the 30 drugs that I had to sit and go through.
Oh, wow. Yes. Well, you know what I say, I've always said to stress the water is what makes it all happen. And the herbs that you're taking, even the good food that you're eating and spending good money for does not work unless the water's right. So I really have another term. I said, what is another term that sort of identifies this? I call it biological industrialization inside of our bodies is what's happening. That means everything that's on the shelf has been so processed to the point of just keeping it on the shelf that we are eating things that are just it's not even alive no more. It's preserving us from the inside out. So with that, is literally dehydrating us from the inside out. So keep that in mind, family. Stay Hydrated. Get the right water. Get the right water. Thank you, Nisa. Appreciate you.
You know what? Can I say something real quick, Dr. Paul? This is Bianca again.
Sure.
I think part of the problem is too, because I know my husband is always staying on me about staying hydrated. And he says I don't drink enough. A lot of times we don't know we're dehydrated because we don't feel thirsty. Like I remember just trying to track my water intake, and I remember eating like a meal or two and not even drinking water. And I don't drink soda, but I had no desire to drink. So now I have a timer on my phone that actually has to go off to make me aware of drinking because I'm not thirsty. And I don't know what that's from, not being thirsty, but we associate thirst with, being dehydrated or, not being dehydrated. So I think that's part of the problem too. A lot of people don't realize they're dehydrated because they're not even thirsty and they're not drinking enough.
It never becomes immediate till the point when you come thirsty, that becomes chronic. That's becoming a chronic situation. That means you're already seriously dehydrated. That's the last warning signal the body's sending you, saying, look, you got to get some water up here or down here. You got to get something else. You got to get some water because we are done. We're utilizing all other resources, and that's what the body does. It takes it from other parts of the body. So that's where the hydration comes from. If you're not drinking water, I'm going to pull it from your arteries and your veins and your nervous system. That's when your blood pressure goes up. Your nervous system starts to shake. You start to get the shakes, start to get headaches, things like nauseousness. All of these things start to happen slowly. Start to get that flutter, or you get the cramp. You get the cramp in the leg. In the back of the leg when you're sleeping. You get to wake up in the morning with a Charlie horse in the middle of the night. Things like that. Those are the first small signs before you get that I'm thirsty taste in your mouth, but it's already been telling you in small ways you're dehydrated. Got it? Small. People will say that their veins are they're hard to get. And Nisa, and you probably know this, when you're taking blood, sometimes people say their veins are so dehydrated you can't even take blood from.
Can't find a vein.
And that's because they're seriously dehydrated. You can't even get a good vein. So all of these things are small, subtle things that are happening. We call that the female principle. See, the female principle always comes to you. My child, we got a little problem here. You better get up on this water. I'm going to give you a cramp in your leg, something. But when it comes to the point where you're totally exhausted, that's when you're going to get that, I can't even hardly, oh my goodness, I'm having respiratory issues. Now daddy's starting to show up. That's the male principle. So keep that in mind, all right?
Dr. Paul, think about this. There's one thing that's getting all of us subliminally, guys. Listen to me. Television is killing us. They don't advertise for you to drink water, do they? They give you beer, they give you everything else, but nobody talks about water or the right water. Social media, you see all this stuff that looks like water, but guess what? It's all fizzy water. There's no water. So subliminally, we are being seduced into doing what? We walk around, we hear all this stuff, but nobody says hydrate.
Right. And then also we're driven on taste buds.
Yes.
See, if it don't taste right, it ain't good for you. That's what they're saying. And therefore, the biggest and hardest thing for people to turn around is when you now have done so bad, you're going to have to take a bitter herb, and people are telling you you got this, you got to do this, you got to do that, you that. How does it taste? That's the number one thing that I get all the time. I say, look, they done told you got high blood pressure, and they talking about you better do something or else you're going to get an operation or something going on, and it's really drastic. And they'll say, how does it taste? I said, that's the last question you should be asking me right now. You should
taste better than nitroglycerin under your tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know that's right.
Exactly. I said, we're having totally two different conversations. I'm talking about keeping you alive, and you're talking about how it tastes. So what does it mean? It means that we got to stay hydrated, all right? So you know what to do. Stay on point, family. Do the best you can, all right?
And I set a timer. That really helped.
Timing helps. Yep. Timing helps.
Set a timer. Set a timer right on the phone.
Alarm
goes off.
All right. Who else we got there, Big B?
Anybody else?
Okay. Well, we got Nitha. Who's next on the? Or I'll tell you what. Go to the chat. What do we have in the chat? We didn't go to the chat yet. Can you go to the chat?
There was one.
Chat?
Well, actually, what causes skin pigmentation around the mouth and chin area to be darker than the rest of your face, and what can be done about it?
That could be a couple of things. Without a proper assessment, you wouldn't know, but I can give you some of the general things that are done with that. Pigmentation changes in the skin has a lot to do with stress, number one, because that's the pineal gland firing off. Pineal is the regulator of melanin or any skin issues that that are happening. So if there's any different dark circles or things that start to have discolorization in the skin, that can also be pineal gland, but also it can be liver. Okay, those are the two things you look for. The liver detox is in order. Third thing would be stress. Okay, stress. Stress usually stresses out the pineal gland. Pineal gland stops making the melanin. You start to see the spots and things like that on the skin. Everybody having like some spots. You may have, all of a sudden this specific spot shows up right on your arm or somewhere where you lose a little of the pigmentation. So it can be a couple of things, but those are the three things that I would look at first. Yeah.
Oh my God, please.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyone else?
Anyone else? Who's next? Let's see.
Then now there's one here from Vaughn says, are non-alcohol tinctured herbs just as efficient as alcohol tinctures and dry herbs?
Well, alcohol, remember, alcohol tinctured herbs are with usually grain alcohol, and it's used to open up it's a form of, number one, for preservative, for keeping it in the bottle, but also for opening up, to dilate, to open it up to the system. Patricia, make sure you go on mute. Mute yourself on there if she's still there. Is she still there? Make sure you mute yourself.
Patricia?
Mute yourself.
Can you mute yourself, Patricia? Okay.
I get her.
Okay.
Make sure I get her. Yeah, I got her. Mute her. Okay, so if you have issues with, well, some people will have issues, of course, because of alcohol, but it's used as a preservative, keeps it on the shelf longer, but also when you take it, it opens up and dilates, opens up your arteries and veins, the pores, allows whatever the herb is to get into you. Now, the issue becomes with some people have issues with kosher, they don't want alcohol, number one, or you may have children. So the herbs that we use, if you have tinctures that have alcohol, try to first get them without alcohol. But if you have it with it, you would just take it and put whatever the dosage is in a cup, whatever you're going to do, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and the alcohol will dissipate. Now it's safe to take, if that's your concern. I try to tell folks to go with the herbal powder versions of the herb. That's what I usually recommend, because you don't have to worry about either or, and it absorbs right into the bloodstream just as quick. So that's the difference between them. Some people will have an issue, especially if you have children, or if you're just sensitive to alcohol, you just don't want alcohol, or you may be trying to look for more of a kosher way of doing it. So that's the difference. No, as far as is there effectiveness, anything that's liquid is going to be more effective into the system, of course, because you don't have to break it down. It immediately goes into the bloodstream. But the same thing, you get the same effect with powder. So, just keep that in mind. It's always based on if you have an issue with alcohol. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else? Anything else there, Big B?
Okay. Someone will, of course, will ask you about what's the best water. Well, Crystal Geyser.
Yeah. I think everybody can answer that one. Matter of fact, just answer that. Sounds like maybe someone coming in for the first time.
Matter of fact, for that question, all of a sudden when that question was asked, the chat lit up. Everybody said Crystal Geyser.
Everybody said Crystal Geyser. Everybody said Crystal Geyser. Crystal Geyser. Well, it doesn't have to be just Crystal Geyser. Y'all just the best. Y'all just like the chase.
Yeah.
They love the chase, baby. They love the art of the chase.
We like Eternal in Tennessee.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Dr. Brenda,
PG, Eternal, Hawaiian, Wakea, Ice Bandit.
Yeah.
365, the Mountain Valley.
There you go.
But the crystal
Waiakea. Now Waiakea is a great one also. I've been to that island in Hawaii. That is a really good source for water. That's the volcano in Hawaii. So I've been there on that mountain, and then let me tell you, that volcano is something that water source out there is out of this world. Let me tell you, that's some good water. So that would be a good one. What else? You got what? Aquapana. You got Mountain Valley. You got it. You got Avion. You got Fiji.
So there's
I'm
a
gonna
bunch
give
of them
y'all
out
one
there,
you
guys.
might not have thought about in a while. Starkey. You ever heard of Starkey? Anybody ever heard
Never
of Starkey?
seen that.
No, never seen it.
Starkey is a good one.
It's that
That's
other
the geyser
one
water.
at the Dollar Tree that comes in a pretty Avion? No.
Avion.
Avion, right.
I gotta add that
Icelandic.
to my list because
There's
I didn't
one
have those
called
three. Evian.
there's one called
You need to grab it because it
Icelandic
doesn't stay on the
Glacier.
shelf long.
There's Icelandic Glacier. That's another one.
Icelandic. That's the other one. Thank you.
But out of all of the tastes, the Crystal Geyser, Eternal, the Valley seem to be on the same wavelength as far as the
there's a
taste.
lot of them out there. There's one called Cascade Mountain.
Oh wow.
Cascade Mountain. I'm gonna tell y'all, it's unlimited. If I go with all these, I'll be here all day. We just trying to give the ones that are closest to us that we can pretty much get a hold of, but they're all over the planet. They're just water pure finds all over the planet. But the key word is what? What's the main thing? You got what?
pH.
Make sure it's
pH.
what?
Bottle at the
Yeah.
source.
Bottled at the
Bottled at the source.
Spring water.
Spring water bottled at the source.
Bottled at the source. That's it. That's it.
Hey,
If you
listen,
can get
guys.
spring water, bottled at the source.
Prophetess has got the list in the chat. So
Hey,
make sure
Prophetess, how you slide in here?
she
Let's
finally
give
made
Prophetess
it.
a
Her
hand.
computer was
She done
kicking her fanny,
slid
boy.
We miss you, but
She's
you're
in the
not
house. She made
here.
it.
AKA
Yeah.
Fingers,
Yeah,
she's
Nick.
in the house.
Bless you now.
What's up, Fingers? How you doing? You all ready?
She ready now.
And don't be fooled by the water that says alkaline water.
Yes, that's
I know
correct.
that's
That
right.
is, and what water is that, by the way? Where does that fall in our line of waters? Y'all remember that, right? Where does that fall in the line of our waters?
Acidic, right?
It's acidic, but where does it find? Where does it fall in our line of waters? Remember, we said there's 4 waters to absolutely stay away from. Remember?
Reverse osmosis.
It's reverse osmosis.
It's reverse
That is correct.
osmosis.
Now it's going to show up as alkaline, though. I'm gonna tell you, when you test it, it's going to show up out alkaline. But remember, it is a form of distilling where they're going to take all of the minerals out and they're going to add electrolytes for taste. They say, but it's actually cheap white salt. Or it's going to be like, yeah, that's what happens. So when you open the bottle, it starts to lose the charge. So if it says 9.5, it ain't 9.5 if it's sitting on your desk. By the end of the day, it's way down there. It's way down there. So we say, don't mess with those waters. Got it? Get yourself a good spring water, bottle at the source. You're good to go. All right? All right, let's see. Who else we got there, Big B? Who else? We got more questions. Give me take one more question down here. I saw a good question here.
That was the one that was long, Dr. P.
Yeah, I want to address that one. I did see that one.
That was Milton. Travelers diarrhea from Ghana since June 13th, maybe from frozen drinks at the last trip dinner. No other symptoms, local infections, diseases department and Mayo Clinic tested stool, ova, and parasite exam. Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora microsporidium, Giardia antigen assay, Cryptosporidium. It just goes on and on and on.
Right. It's got a lot of stuff. He didn't list everything that he like.
How to solve this problem? I'm trying to figure out how to solve that problem.
Well, so is he on? Is he on right now?
Let's say Milton, you still here?
Milton,
you gotta be still here.
Is he still? Did he chime in or is he on by phone?
I think. Let me see. Milton, you still on?
Okay.
I'll look for you while you talk.
I'm gonna try to break this down the best way I can. So travelers diarrhea from Ghana since June 13th, maybe from frozen drinks at the last trip dinner. I'm gonna tell you, stop right there. You got to watch the ice, y'all.
Yeah,
you got frozen right there. Already says ice to me already. And when you're in Ghana, I'm telling you, I just came back from Ghana not too long ago in February, and the biggest issue that I was having was with the water. Got it? And the water, I was telling y'all that the water, we got to get the water right. In order for doing anything, you got to get your water right. And even on the plane, I was having problems, man. Well, I tell you, I just said something simple like apple juice. They said, well, you know how to come down the aisle. You want anything? Not really. You got apple juice? That's the only thing I can think of that was like 100%, right? When they gave that to me, I forgot about the ice. So they already put it in there and I'm drinking, and next thing you know, my stomach was doing all kind of flips.
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, oh. So, Milton, if you're still listening, buddy.
He's still on here. I
If
just
he's
happen to
still
know.
on here, I'm going to tell you,
Probably on the phone.
we take you through a detox, especially a traveler's detox. And that's not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent disease, just food for the soul. That's my parasite formula. That's exactly what I use the eliminator for. The eliminator is what got me through my trip. You know, when I went to Ghana and came through, I came back and I had to wait for, I guess, we actually do what's before, during, and when you return, the parasite formula. So, Big B, I don't know, Prophetess, maybe you want to drop the shop.drpaulherbs.com link down there where they can order the,
already.
if it's in there, is it already down there?
Yeah, it's in there.
All right, so that's for anybody that's listening by phone. If you want to get the parasite formula, I have a colon cleanse and a parasite we take you through. In Milton's case, he would go directly to the parasite formula, but I'm just taking in general. We would say the parasite formula is the eliminator. That's what it's called, the eliminator. Okay.
Yeah, he said all stool tests returned negative.
Yeah, but they always miss it too.
Yeah.
They always miss it. I don't think them as a grain of salt, man. Is something definitely going on that you got to get it. You got to come in for an assessment, buddy. Is he in Philadelphia?
No,
he's in Philadelphia.
In Philly? Oh, I'm sure he'll answer.
He's in Philadelphia. I can definitely help him, but you got to come in and get an assessment. You know, you don't want to speculate. You want to be exact on and possible. But also that means you got to watch your food choices. No dairy, things like that. There's a lot of things you got to go with. The top 10 toxic foods. Everybody go to, have everybody downloaded on my website the free guidebook that I'm giving out? Did y'all get that? The free Mastering a Healthy Lifestyle. If you go to my website and you go to drpaulherbs.com, when you scroll down, you're going to hit the download on the Mastering a Healthy Lifestyle. That's what I tell everybody. If anybody if you want to get them on point with some stuff, you want to blow their mind, send them that right there. That'll get them warmed up.
Milton from St. Louis, Dr. P. That's why he's
St. Louis, yeah. So he can just do a phone consultation. Tell him to set up a phone consultation, Milton. My number is 1-877-377-2854. But if you go there and if you have somebody you want to share that with, share that link with them or share the website so that they can download it themselves. That's the book that actually will give you the forefront on the forthcoming. This is going to be the forthcoming class that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be the fundamental 101s of health. Start right there. So I'm going to break it down a little bit more. We just finished the filming and everything, so we're going to be breaking that down. But that's the preview right there. Download that guide, share it with the family, and of course, you digest it yourself. See the fundamentals of health right there. All right? Okay, Big B.
I'm sorry, before you go on, Dr. Paul, is that in the downloads? Because I don't see that.
No, it's not in the downloads. It's right on the front page. You see a picture of me on there where it says Mastering a Healthy Lifestyle. Scroll down right on the front page. And then right under my picture there on the left or the right side, you'll see a little click there. So download that, and you can download that whole guide. All right? It's about a 14 page, I believe. It's about 14 pages. All right? All right, family. We trying to keep it riding, right? Keep it riding, y'all.
Thank you for that gift, Dr. Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Thank you.
All right.
Well, I can't be God-given, so you gotta keep it going. That's right. All right, let's see who else we have.
Okay,
let's go up to
those
the
are
top.
all the questions are over in the chat for right now. So Nita and then Nita. So Stephanie, now we're on you now. There we go.
All right. Good evening.
Hey, Stephanie.
Good evening.
Dr. Paul.
I'll be in the office. If you want to come by, I'll be in the office. I did get your message.
I'm tired, and I was trying to hold on to having I even talked with my mom before we even came, so I had some information.
Okay.
But she's been battling a cold, so coughing a lot. But trying to get her, she's doing better. She's doing a lot better.
Okay, good, good.
Some oregano, along with some cough syrup that she was already was prescribed for her.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
A lot better.
Okay.
So we probably had to just drop in before waiting for her. It might be the summer be over.
Okay.
But she's doing better. But as she aging, and so she's kind of backing out of a lot of things, and so I'm hoping that one day she will speak to you direct on the phone, or let Ivy know what's happening. But
okay,
we're working on her.
Okay.
But I also want to say sorry about Indy.
Yeah, Indy passed on, but he's with us in spirit, and Yep.
Prayerfully, all of your good memories will lift you and keep you strengthened.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
One is it okay to take the green balance before or after a meal?
It can be either or. It can be a meal replacement, meal supplement, or a multivitamin. It can be all three.
Oh,
yep.
great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's in addition to everything that you have, and it's only food. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Hey. Okay. Thank you. I got Dr. Lenny. Wait a minute. One more question. Oh, you got another question?
Yeah. This real. Can calcification in fingers or a toe be reversed?
What was that?
Calcification.
Calcification happens with the lack of assimilation of magnesium in the body. Okay. So that means calcification starts to mount. That means more greens. You got to break that calcification up. Okay. So it depends on what part of the body it's in. They would need an assessment though. What part of the body is it in?
A toe, a big toe.
Oh, that sounds like gout.
Yeah, that sounds like gout.
Sound like gout. So what you gotta, definitely that's uric acid that builds in the system. They're out of balance. Watch the food choices. Go back to food choices every time. You can't give the perfect herb. There's no perfect herb that can correct eating habits. Because when somebody does the right, herb or whatever that helps to alkalize, if you go back to eating the wrong things, you're back in the circle. You're back in that infinite loop again. So you want to try to pull away. You got to learn. That person would have to learn how to eat right, I would say first. You got to start to eat.
Considering the age group of some of the women that are on the call, one thing you might want to address at some point in time is the fact that calcium, people are taking high doses of calcium at the recommendation of their gynecologist or their primary care to help their osteoporosis, but they don't think about the magnesium. Calcium doesn't work without magnesium.
That's correct. That's right. Can't be absorbed into the body. And remember, we had that. Remember, I did the breakdown of all the calciums, y'all. Don't have that. Go to the website.
I have it.
Yeah, that's important to know. See when they're going. Yeah, go ahead.
How would you know how much magnesium to take if you're taking the natural coral calcium?
Well, the natural coral calcium. What do you mean? The coral calcium has natural magnesium in it. That's the difference. That's bioavailable. See, that's a different calcium. That's a different calcium. Remember, I don't know if you heard the program where I did the breakdown of all the calciums. But that's a bioavailable calcium. Go to the website, download those. See, so that's the key. So that person still needs to know and understand. They got to stop. They got to learn how to eat. Got to learn how to eat. There's no exception. There's no magic bullet that's going to solve everything. It all happens holistically. Meaning that not only do they have to eat right and do the things and get enough water, they got to get enough greens too. If you just, Big B, have water and greens.
Greens,
Water and greens. That's it. You
watch that turkey and chicken too with that uric acid.
Yeah, that's right.
I just had a bout of that gout a few weeks ago, And that dumb doctor with no sense told me I have a bunion, which is nothing protruding from my foot. I told her it was gout. Well, I went and I said, that's all right. I have my own resources. So I went and got treated and my gout is gone.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So that may help out, Stephanie. I would just, have them just stay away from the acid forming foods, acid drinks, all those things that are in that guide that I'm telling everybody about. That guy will wake up a lot of people right there. And when usually they get to the top 10 section, that's when everybody goes, ooh, I can't have my shrimp no more. Oh, I can't have what? Oh, my goodness.
Don't eat those shrimp. That's nothing but a roach.
Wow.
Roaches.
Scroaches.
Stop.
Get your scroaches.
Roaches.
Oh, Lord.
All right, Stephanie. Arthropods. Arthropods.
Yeah, yes. It's just simple, Dr. Scroaches. Just scroaches.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Is that it, Stephanie? Is that it, Stephanie?
That is Stephanie?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe see you soon, all right? See you soon. All right.
All right. Up next is Yvette. And, before we go to Yvette, Naya has a question. Hold on 1 second, Yvette. How do you heal uterine fibroids, Dr. Paul?
Yeah, well, we have a whole list of that, and Prophetess may have that breakdown. Okay. Remember, we don't rip, cut, or burn anything out. We shrink them. Yep, everything should be in the chat. If she checks the chat, all right,
very good.
Is she by phone though? Is she by phone, or if she can't see it, if she's by phone? Is she by phone?
Are you by phone, Yvette, or are you on computer?
Is Yvette
I'm
right
on
there?
the computer.
Oh, she's on the computer. Yeah.
Look back at 8:27 p.m. It says herbs that will help shrink fibroids and are cancer scavengers.
Yeah. Okay. So what we do is, again, this comes back to rhythms and cycles. You got to get yourself into rhythms and cycles. Fibroid cysts, tumors, things happen when you're out of rhythm. Eating outside a cycle, you're breaking the rules. That means we got to not eat meat. Number one thing is, remember that circadian rhythm, right? Yeah. What's your cleansing cycle? What's your cleansing cycle? That's real quick, somebody. Come on, quick. What's your cleansing cycle? What time does it start? Anybody?
It's all in the chat.
4 a.m. to noon.
4 a.m. to 12 noon. So in that cycle, you should not be eating no meat. You got it? That's a big cycle where everybody eats. What's the first thing people eat in the morning?
Breakfast.
Bacon, eggs, sausage,
donuts.
No. That sounded real convincing right there. That said donuts. That sounded real convincing right there. So what's happening is you break the cycle. Remember, when you're eating meat doesn't have enzymes. So your body has to produce the enzyme from your liver or your pancreas to break that down. So now when you're supposed to be cleansing, your body has to now produce energy to get energy. Now I'm tired. That's what makes people tired when they're eating. And that's it makes the system sluggish. Now you start to break cycle. Now you're causing constipation. A lot of that happens over and over for sometimes, days, months, years, decades, and that stuff builds up. So in the lower part of women, from right where in your belly button, 1 inch from the navel, top of the uterus, that's where you're going to start to see the first signs of fibroid cysts and tumors. And then it moves into the system, and then that becomes more complicated. So that's why we got to not break the system. Stop eating out of cycle. You're breaking cycle. So that means that we got to stop eating meat in that cleansing cycle. If you're going to eat meat, what would that be? If you got to eat meat at all, what cycle would that be? Anybody?
From 12 to
4.
12
to 7 p.m.
12 to 7. That's what cycle would that be? That would be what?
Assimilation.
That's right. Or actually, it's the intake cycle. That's the 12 noon till 7 p.m. That's the intake cycle. Yeah. The assimilation cycle starts 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. That's when the time when you're actually starting to get prepared going back into the cleansing cycle again. So assimilation happens when you're sort of rest and relaxation. That's why we say don't eat after 7. Don't eat or drink after 7 because you're preparing. The shop's closed. Body's like, shop's closed.
Okay.
We're going to get this thing ready for tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Then you come in there and saying, hey, we want to get a sandwich. Hey, kitchen closed. Trying to sweep up in here, and you come in here talking about you want a sandwich. No.
There ain't no sandwiches here.
That's funny.
So shops closed. Also, assimilation happens when you go into your deepest part of sleep, which is your REM sleep, the rapid eye movement. Remember that rapid eye movement, that REM sleep. And that's the time your body says, I'm going to put you in a state of paralysis. That's when your eyes start to flip back and forth. You ever seen anybody sleeping and their eyes flipping back and forth? Say,
yeah, man.
They look crazy. What's wrong with them? That's actually the body saying, I'm going to shut you down, put you in a state of paralysis so that we can now start to heal the body. But I have to have you in that relaxation state of uninterrupted sleep so that I can do my job. But if you're getting up 3 and 4 times going to the bathroom, guess what? You breaking cycle. You're breaking cycle. You got it? So keep that in mind. So those are your 3 cycles. You can also grab that on the website. That's on that document, the Mastering a Healthy Life. That's the cycles of the rhythms. Yep. All right. So keep that in mind.
Already.
Okay.
Dr. Paul, what was that third organ that produces the enzyme? Liver, pancreas?
Liver and the pancreas. Those are the 2 right there.
Just 2.
Just the 2. Yep. So we got to create that energy. So I got to use energy to get energy. I'm wore out now. Just eating. Did you know that it takes up to 85% of your energy to break down meat?
Ouch.
Did y'all hear that? 85%.
No wonder you was walking around asleep.
That's why everybody said, boy, that was a good meal. Whew, that sure was. Let's go lay down. You overate. You should feel stronger
to go to your stomach.
Right. You should be stronger getting up than you did when you sat down. Got it? That's the key. Vegetation on the table. That's what they used to call it, vegetables. Got it? Vegetation on the table. Vegetables. That's what it is. So you should feel stronger getting up than you did when you sat down. Now, if you sit down and you feel like laying down after that, you overate. You gain too much energy. Got it? Key point. All right. Okay, let's see what else we got there, buddy.
Okay, what's the best all-purpose vitamin for a 98-year-old woman? Swallowing is challenging. That's coming from
green drink,
Carol.
Green drink and give her a straw. That's what I would do. Green drink.
I heard that.
And give her a straw.
Big Bill, am I next?
Yeah, you are. You are the vet. You're next.
Oh, can I talk now?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Big Bill. I still think you're my cousin. We have the same family name.
Okay, we'll have to hook up.
Yeah, we do. I'm doing my family tree to trace back to my people in Africa. So.
All right, cool. You got it.
Awesome.
So, Dr. Paul, hello. And I'm sorry about Indy. My heart is broken. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him too. Yep. A couple of questions. Traveling to Spain, and I'm staying out there for some time. And I want to be able to bring my sea moss with me and some water and my aloe vera gel. And I'm not quite sure how to pack that as far as keeping it cold through my when I go from here to the United States to Spain. So I'm not sure how to pack that. It's essential that I have it.
Okay, and this is what now? What are you packing now? This is what? The sea moss?
Sea moss, aloe vera gel, and I want to bring water because I'm not sure what kind of water they have over there.
Right, so that's a question for the airlines. Yeah. Okay, that's a question for the airlines. Okay. Whenever you're packing, usually you definitely can't take it on the plane. So you have to pack it and you have to declare it. That's the one thing you have to do. So that's a question for them. Now, plenty of people, you should see the things that are travel once you declare that are being sent. I mean, you got swords, you got
and the belly of a plane, man.
You can see stuff that's going through. You would be like, no way. But yes, they are, because they've declared it. Got it? Long as you've declared something, you can pretty much bring it through. So that's a question for them. Tell them you have a health concern and this is what you have, and then they will declare it. Okay? And you'll show you how you can declare it. Has to be refrigerated, stuff like that. Maybe you could find something of a small refrigeration unit that can keep it, and then you just basically declare it.
Mm-hmm. And if you go to Aquapana's website, you might be able to find what countries they have it in, because they had it on the cruise ship when Neith and I went, left out of Barcelona. So, and a lot of times they purchase those things, a lot of that stuff when they're in port.
There you go. So that's
they let you take cases of water.
No, you can't do that. You purchase it there.
Can't do that.
No, you purchase it when you get there. Now, when you're going into places like Europe, in certain places in Europe, you're going to find the spring waters bottle at the store.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to find it. So it's only when you go into places like certain parts of the world where, you know, they're not going to have good water. Like when we were in Ghana, they didn't have the good water. Even the water they were pushing was like everything was filtered. But if you go into those high-end areas like, you know, European countries, they know about this thing. You know, they understand the concepts of water. That's what built their nation. Ain't that deep? This is some deep stuff. What builds the nation is to first stand on the benefits of water. You can't get anything right until you get your water right. So that's really the foundations. That's why in the French Alps, they came out with the Avion, and then you got the mountains in Italy, which is the Aquapana. You got it? The mountains of Fiji. You got all these places that understand the real importance of water. And they usually don't do well until they get their water right. If they get their water right, everything gets right.
So let me ask a question. Do you know of any name brands, Nathan and Clarinda?
Yeah, they put them in the chat. All the name brand waters, like the
Spain, though. No,
pardon me?
In
they
Spain.
have Aquapana. They have Aquapana.
Oh,
they
nice.
They have all those waters there.
Oh,
they have better waters than we have here in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So my other question I have, I've been biting down on my tongue involuntarily, and I don't know what's going on with that. Whether I'm sleeping or in waking hours. And I started taking some, I've been using oregano and this other product that helps with parasites. So it seems to be calming down, but I'm not quite sure why that's happening.
Well, I mean, only you can answer that. Okay. So when you start to dealing with biting down and things like that, or you're having issues with, any types of nerve, you got to start to ask yourself, why, is this happening while you sleep, or is it happening while you're awake? That's something that's dealing with your nerves. You're biting down. So again, you got to ask the million questions. That's a question for yourself. When you're talking about healing for after you've bitten it, that's something different. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
You asking me a question? I'm confused. What do you mean?
No, I was asking you to repeat the question because I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, I wasn't asking a question. I was saying, that's a question for you. If you're biting down on something, that sounds like nerves to me. Okay? Sounds like nerves. Got it? See, that's just like somebody who has issues with grinding teeth. That's rooted in things of nerves, and you got to check. That's a question only you can answer that question. Got it?
I can't answer that question. That's why I'm asking you, Dr. Paul. And I was in a car accident a few months ago, so I don't know if that's related to it or.
Well, I would say you would need to be assessed then and help someone that can help you with that. So they would have a lot more questions with that. To unpack that right now, there's no way you would be able to unpack that right now because there's a million reasons why somebody could have the biting down or grinding or things like that. So that's kind of a loaded question to answer. Okay. So I would say get an assessment. All right.
Like a neurologist or something like that.
It could help, but also ask the questions, watch levels of, when grinding and things like that, they try and attribute that to a lot of anger. So is there anything going on? If there's relaxation, more relaxation time is needed, cognitive, things like that, could be a lot of things going on there.
Okay.
Could I make a suggestion?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. I have that type of problem, and I do see a neurologist.
Yes.
But the problem that I was having was biting down on my tongue and also with grinding with my teeth. So what I suggested, what I thought, I got myself a mouthpiece to give myself protection until you get yourself where you need to go deal with your situation. But if you get a mouthpiece, you wouldn't be biting down on your tongue. It won't hurt. I'm telling you.
But I have something from the dentist and it hurts my teeth. It's so tight. I can't, it's so uncomfortable. So do you have a recommendation one? Yeah, I got one molded from the dentist.
He says a mouthpiece. He says a mouthpiece.
You know,
So
a mouthpiece like the football players, like the football players.
Yeah, but from where? Where do you get that from?
Okay,
from any
you can
sports.
get that. You can get that online. You can get that on Amazon. Just push and say mouthpiece.
Okay, thank you.
And what you can do, hold on. Let me finish. And once it's going to tell you what you need to do, but you just put it in some hot water, and then quickly put in your mouth and mount, to the mouthpiece, the teeth that you get. So when you go to sleep, it's mounted in in your mouth. So you won't do any grinding, or if you grind, you won't, get no effects of that of your teeth or whatever.
Yeah. But I would also put in that to relaxation. Just try to relax yourself. That's a sign of biting down. Aggression on that level. So you got to sort of just say what's bothering me, what's on my mind, what's on my heart. Things like that. All right.
I've also let that dentist know that thing is very painful and it's uncomfortable. Because he probably charged your insurance pretty well for it if he billed your insurance.
Yeah. Amen.
Yep, that's a good point. Good point.
Can I ask one other question? The vet told us that he has sclerosis of the eye and protein in his urine is high. And the pH level is at 7.5.
Okay, so what was that again?
Apollo, my dog.
Okay.
He just went to the vet and they said he has sclerosis of the eye and his lab results showed that he had proteinuria, high protein levels. And then the pH level is 7.5, which the range shows 5.5 to 7.0. So I was wondering, with the protein, does that mean there's something going on with his kidney filtration?
Yep, that is correct. That is correct. That is correct. So what kind of water are you feeding your dog?
The same water I drink, which is Crystal Geyser or Eternal.
So that's good. So how old is your dog?
He's geriatric now, 8 years old.
Yeah, that's the natural progression of the dogs. See, when they get a certain age, their kidneys start to fail. That's the thing. So it's a lot to do with the dog foods. I did a research piece on the dog foods and the types of dog foods. You got to watch some of them. Is he dry or wet with foods?
I do both, and he's starting to like that raw.
Yeah, anybody will tell you you got to watch doing both. You do one or the other. You don't do both. That could be a problem right there. See, you never do both. You never do both. It's either you do dry or you do wet, and you stick with it. Got it? See, they can't process it like that. So that's what I would say. You need to talk with the vet on that one. Okay? Okay, I got to move to the next one, okay? Because I get ready to go. But vet, have a great trip. Hope everything works out safely for you. And check with the airlines. They should be able to help you out, okay?
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. Take care now. All right. Bye-bye.
We got Carol G, and then we have a question on the side. Carol?
Hi, everybody, and Prophetess, Big B, and Dr. Paul.
What's up, Carol G?
How's everybody and family? Right. A friend of mine said she put a question in the chat, but I don't know if it's there or not. But just real quick, her dad had a cancer in the bladder, and they gave him chemotherapy, about 5 sessions of that, and they said it was gone, but now they're saying that it showed back up, but they want to take the bladder then, and now they saying they asking her they want to take the bladder now. So she wants to know if there are any drugs that could shrink those tumors and try to fix him, because she know that it's going to change his life once he has the bladder's gone, and he's the older man, and I don't know if he'll be able to handle changing that.
Yeah, how old is he?
How old is he? Are you on? I think he's 77.
86.
Oh, he's 86.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I see. I'm only gonna speak in general because, of course, anything that's getting that detailed, you got to have an assessment. You got to come in.
Okay.
Okay. I would be, you know, if I were to try to sum something like that just in a conversation. So the one thing that caused the problem usually with a lot of seniors is the holding of the urine. Got it? Because as we get older, we hold the urine, whether consciously or unconsciously, we hold the urine. And that's a problem because your lower pelvic floor is the hottest place in your body. That place is going to get the perfect condition for bacteria to grow. Urinary tract infections.
Yes.
Got it? Usually that's the first sign that it happens. Now, I can also say sometimes lower back problems can stem to cause UTIs also because that cuts the signal oxygen nutrients to the signal to the front part of the body. So sometimes the lower back has a lot to do with that. But the main thing is you got to make sure there's no urinary tract infections. That's the first thing we look for, especially with seniors, because when they got to go, they don't want to go to the bathroom. They got to. Sometimes it's a challenge to go up steps and to move and things like that. So they tend to sit on it a little too long. So that's what the first thing. When that starts to now get in that line, now that can infect the bladder, and then that can roll up to the kidneys, and now we get kidney infections. Got it? And bladder and kidney issues. So you got to start there first. I would say get an assessment, have him come on in, and we can check him out. Okay. But get his water right. You got to get his water right, and you kind of got to work around him getting to the bathroom, getting back and forth. Make it easy for them to get around. Sometimes you have to go to get the portable users so that they can actually, just like you would do in the hospital, you would have containers so that you can urinate. So something that he can, work out getting back and forth to the bathroom. That's a big issue. So, so keep that in mind.
Bring him in.
Bring him on in. All right.
Thank you.
Dr. Paul, just one other thing. You got to, with the seniors like that, you got to start doing some bladder training, some time voiding. Yep. That's what I do in my practice. Hopefully he doesn't have to get that bladder removed. And then he's older, then you have to wind up with a urostomy.
Yeah. See, what happens is that infection can cause other problems because soon as the body recognizes there's an infection in the system, immediately the heart says, well, I got to burn this infection out. So I got to speed up the heart. So now you got the heart palpitations, you got the fluttering. And then that now raises the body temperature. So now the temperature is raising in the body. That's raising too much heat on the brain. Then that's when you get sort of discombobulated. And then next thing you know, 108 too high, close to boiling point of water, too high. Blood pressure gets too high. So that means that there's too much heat on the brain that's going to cause confusion, dizziness, sometimes messes with speech problems. And then that's when they sort of get discombobulated. Y'all ever heard somebody say, brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so keep falling? Why they keep falling? Well, they're falling because they probably got a UTI. That's probably what it is. And that's where you got to watch those UTIs. They're very high. I'm going to tell you, everybody coming through my office, I see a large amount of urinary tract infections people don't know they have. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay? Get his water right and keep those acid foods away from him. Watch the chips and the cereal, the white sugar, white salt, white bread. All of that stuff. Steal that processed stuff away from them. Give them some fresh fruits and vegetables. Give them that green drink. Give them that green drink. Give them a green drink and a straw. Give them the green drink and a straw. Right,
Nisa, do you do home visits? Nisa, you do those type of home visits?
I'm a home care nurse for 42 years.
Yep. Yeah.
Love it.
That's right. That's right. So maybe you want to get Neetha's information. Do you have Neetha's information?
I'll put my number in the chat for you, Carol. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah.
And Prophetess, can you call that out so that anyone that's listening by phone?
I'll do it now. So you can 267 970 0342. You know, Dr. Paul, I've been listening. There's a Dr. Milton Mills who's an internist, but does plant-based nutrition. And I was listening to him yesterday, and he made a statement. I said, I like that. I'm going to steal that. My brother has one, too, but I'm not going to use his.
Okay.
I'm not using it. But he said, nothing white should be on your table except for the tablecloth and the white people that are sitting there eating.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Well, let us
wrong. You're wrong.
Amen. Indeed.
And I can't imagine with Dr. Burton's version.
I'm not going to say that right
now. Tell him to drop me that in the text. I want to hear.
I sure will. I have to drop it to you. I said, I won't say that one. You're right, but I won't say it.
Can you give me your phone number again, please?
Sure. 267 970 0342. Is that for you, Carol?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't anyway. It's for someone else on here.
Oh, sure. Because, you know, we're getting our agency together and we still need patients. And we're doing it pro bono.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Neetha. And Big B, now, Cal G, was that the last question? You good?
Let's see.
Yes, Dr. Paul. Thanks, everybody.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Now, we got Lydia.
And before you go there, Big B, before you go there, we want to make sure we answer any questions. And Prophetess, you also check on the Facebook side. Is there anybody
we're bringing that in.
I'm not on the Facebook side, but I have a couple questions.
I'm looking at it, and everything's been answered, Dr. Paul, thus far.
Okay, good. All right, then make sure we're clear.
There's a couple questions here on the chat box. Can you speak to treating, I believe, aspiration?
Pneumonitis.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonitis?
Yeah, pneumonitis. I was looking just at Joanne.
Absolutely.
There was one question. Salome asked. I just lost it.
All right, let me deal with that first one. The aspiration pneumonitis.
Okay.
All right, whenever you're having that, it depends on how, some people have been exposed to chemicals, things from working, could be asbestos, could be just working in the environment of pharmaceuticals. It could be anywhere. You working at power plants. There's a lot of things that can happen. We do a detox with that. That's where the level of what we do for the lungs, and that would be the area, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, just food for the soul. We would need an assessment to be exact, but I could tell you in general, we do things like the zeolite. You remember the zeolite we talk about?
Yes.
Okay, zeolite is one of those that detoxes heavy, substances and radiation and a whole lot of other stuff. That in combination with things like that raise the glutathione. So glutathione would be the second one. Glutathione.
Okay, I need to spell all that.
All right. Zeolite, Zeolite. Okay, zeolite, which comes out of the ocean. Got it? Also, glutathione, Glutathione, glutathione. Your liver makes glutathione. It's the level of protection that chelates and pulls all poisons, heavy metals, toxins out of the body naturally. It's a natural chelation. Any types of sea vegetables will raise the level of glutathione. That's why kelp, chlorella, spirulina, sea moss, all those things, they will help to raise the level of glutathione, allows the liver to do what it has to do to raise your protective principle, which is that glutathione. Okay, that's your number one antioxidant of the body. Okay, so that's what I would look at, those things like that. Now you're cleaning the lungs. Let me give you a couple more. Also, mullein for the lung strength. mullein, mullein. Also, pleurisy. There's an herb called pleurisy. Okay. Pluresy. You challenging me now. You challenging me.
Start over again with P.
Pleurisy.
This stuff is off the top of my head.
P is in Paul.
P is in Paul. Yeah. Pleurisy. I believe. I believe that's it. Pleurisy. Pleurisy. Okay. Another one, I'm gonna give you one more. Olive leaf. Okay, olive leaf. So the olive leaf is very good for the lungs also. Okay.
Dr. Paul, could you use those for COPD as well?
Yep, absolutely. That's in the same family. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Yeah. Absolutely. Smokers. You know what I tell those that still smoke? You know, you gotta really check yourself when you're smoking. You know how if you ever trying to get somebody to stop smoking, there's one way that I would suggest that you try, and it's very convincing. It's very convincing. You ever been in like a restaurant or somewhere and you got those little coffee straws, or you might be at like, anywhere, you might be at a convenience store or something. You know those little tiny straws?
Yeah.
That people use for coffee and teas.
Yeah.
I want next time you find one, I want you to grab one. And I want you to put that in your mouth and try to breathe through that.
Your buddy can't do it.
That's what emphysema and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease feels like.
Man.
You gotta let people feel like it. You gotta because grandma used to say, what you can't hear, your other senses gonna have to come. You're gonna have to feel me now.
I know, that's right.
That's what will get you straight. I'm gonna tell you. Because when you try to inhale and you can't get enough air in through that little teeny straw, that's like having chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or emphysema. And that's from smoking. It's a terrible feeling. Oh,
what? See that rat? Don't look at him.
All right, Dr. P, have one question, then we go, and we can finish up with Lydia.
All
question
right.
is, doctor diagnosed a family member with beginning stages of dementia. What are supplements that you can discuss about that? I think that's the one you're looking for.
Yeah. Memory comes in play. I can only revert to the study that was done that I sort of point people to, and that was a study that was done with the MCT, medium chain triglycerides. So that comes from things like coconut oil, medium chain triglycerides, which is actually from coconut oil. So coconut oil added to foods, they showed increased levels of results with those that had any type of dementia or Alzheimer's. And that's because what happens is it crosses into the blood-brain barrier and allows to get nutrition to the cells. So that's what I would say would be high on the list. Also, there is the mushroom family. So any of the mushrooms, and that means anything mushroom is cognitive. So you got things like the chaga, you have the lion's mane, you have the ganoderma, you have the king's trumpet, the turkey tail. All of them are designed for mind, for focus, concentration, things like that. So that's where I would look for. I used to have a formula for memory that was all mushroom, but they don't sell it anymore. But I'll try to look for one. I'll see why. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It seems like these things kind of disappear, But I'll look for that. I'll look for that and see if I can find one. All right.
All right, Dr. P. Lydia, you're the last one.
I think that's it. Is Lydia?
Lydia's still there.
Yeah, Dr. Paul, you gave the added list of Starkey water, and I had never really dealt with that. So what is the report where it says it has high levels of arsenic, and that's not a good water, except you make you drink one bottle. And number two, I've been trying to get back on the wagon. Did you drop off your green stuff to Wayne Avenue yet?
Well, they haven't ordered. Yeah, they haven't ordered. So if they order, just tell them to order. I think they were going
waiting for a
through.
drop off.
Yeah. Just check with them. I would say check with them tomorrow.
Okay.
And see what the status is, because usually I have some people doing that for me, but I remember that they were in the process of getting updated. So I don't know. Because you can always, here's the thing, always go online, y'all. Always go online. We're always updated online. Always you can go online, and you can also do auto ship. We got auto ship, so you don't have to worry about this every week or every month. I'm sorry. And you can just have it automatically shipped to you. It's automatic. We'll do it for you. So you don't have to worry about they're going to have it, if they're not, because every store has their own flow of what they're going to do, and they purchase when they do it. And we're going to fill the order based on when they order. So I would just say always go online, okay?
All
right.
Okay, Dr. Peter. But
what about the Starsky, the arsenic in the
Starkey? What about it? Now? What was it? I didn't quite understand.
It said something about a report found that it was sold out of Whole Foods, but it had high levels of arsenic, and they didn't recommend that you drink that. So,
well,
I had never heard of that.
Here's the thing. Okay, this is where y'all love drama. People love drama. Remember, arsenic is a natural forming. It's a natural formation in the earth. Got it? Sometimes they'll tell people this to get them away from the water, right? We are the processors. Got it? You're going to find it's only when it gets to levels where it is denatured that it becomes a problem. Just like arsenic is also in an apple. It's in the apple seeds.
That's right.
But then you remember when they had Dr. What's his name? What's the guy that used to be Dr. Oz? He had everybody giving up apple juice once.
Yeah, sure did.
Had everybody scared to death to drink apple juice.
Yeah.
And you know how long people have been drinking apple juice? And it's because they say, oh, it's got arsenic in it. It's not denatured. And that's what you got to understand. So long as it's in its natural state and nothing's been added or altered, and now something was infiltrated in the where they were pulling it from, that's something different. That means if there was an underground, something shale drilling, because that's a lot of things that water companies have to worry about is deep well shale drilling. That's the only time it becomes really bad. Usually that's something, they get in there and people just don't have a proper understanding of what, minerals are. Everything is in the earth. And that's good and bad. So
yes. I give people the list of the different waters, and of course, if they research it, I like to be able to give them that type of
because you got, and I'm glad you brought that up, because people have to be able to break that down. When you sit among somebody and you're saying, "Well, I didn't see that. I didn't see that they has it's not denatured. As long as it's not denatured, that's the difference. Then that usually takes some level of chemicalization. Right. In order to alter things, because in nature is always going to operate in balance. So that means something either was added or taken away, and then now you're messing with the water. So usually when it's in its natural state, long as it's in its natural state, it's safe. That's what it is. Yep. Good question, though. That was a good question, Lydia. Yeah, good question.
Dr. Paul, Andrea over here on Facebook wanted to know, what was the best way to raise your pH level?
That's alkaline. Remember, greens. Anything green.
Greens, Andrea.
Green drink. Everybody get green drink.
Green drink.
And get a straw.
It was 15 years. I've been on green drink for 15 years.
Get a straw.
Hey, Doc, and here's a comment from Habibu. Habibu said, we want to learn how to stop smoking. She says she stopped smoking when she went to see an autopsy. Well, hallelujah.
Ooh, that'll do it.
That'll get you. Thank you, Habibu, for that. We know that's what's up.
That's it. You just got to see it.
Go into an autopsy suite, guys. Been there. Used to do that for a living. So trust me, it ain't cool, y'all.
And you remember back in the day, they used to have doctors, advertising for smoking. Do y'all remember that?
Man.
If you pull up on Google, doctors advertising smoking, you'll see them, doctors with the stuff going around his head, just on a chair with the patient smoking. Camels unfiltered.
Yeah.
Camels unfiltered, all kind of stuff, boy. They were pushing everything, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man.
So keep that in mind, family. All right, Big B, we gotta wrap it up, buddy.
Yo, man.
I think that's the wrap.
The time
Tell
has come to
everybody
win,
how
man.
they can participate with the family tree and how they can support us moving forward in this venture.
You
all right?
got it, my friend. As always, friends, in order to make sure you got a copy of tonight's check, what you got to do? Send me an email, guys. Send me an email to mechavideo@gmail.com. Again, mechavideo@gmail.com. And of course, to continue to support the family tree, use my Cash App. That's $BILMORGAN, $Bill Morgan. And guess what? If you use your bank to also support that way, that's mechavideo@comcast.net. That's the ID number, mechavideo@comcast.net. And of course, we've got a P.O. Box number right here in Mullica Hill, Bill Morgan, P.O. Box 191, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. Guess what, guys? Bring your friends, bring your family right here. The family tree every Wednesday night. That is Dr. P.
All right, Big
That's what's
B.
up. That's what's up. Yeah, man.
Hey, man.
Great class, guys.
I want to say, everybody, let's give Big B a hand over there. Big B.
Ho.
And also, let's give Prophetess a hand over there, a.k.a.
Fingers in the house.
She's smoking over there. She moving smoke out the way, y'all. She moving smoke out the way. Her hands move so fast, I tell you, man. We appreciate y'all and everything. We say, did you learn anything this evening, family? Did you learn anything?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Take this information and share it. That's all we claim. We say, go and share the information and make sure that you give it away. Because guess what? When you give it away, it's going to do what? It's going to come back. It's going to be a blessing. So God bless y'all. That's right. Boomerang on back. That's right. So God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And remember, if you're breathing, I want to say, for those that did not hear, Indy passed away, so we want to dedicate this show to Indy, my doggy, who he usually be telling me right now, it's time to get up on the He's in heaven now, and he's with family and everything. So God bless y'all. Thank you for your concern. I appreciate y'all. And last thing, we're gonna do some tapping. Marcy, we gotta tap it out. Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out. Tap it out. All right, come on down, come on down, come on down. Come on down. That's right, come on down. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. That's right. You should do this every day, y'all. Y'all should do this every day. Come on down. Collarbone, right around the collarbone. Collarbone. Good. Testing. Yes. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Come on down.
Yeah.
To the left and the right. Left to the right. What's on your left side, y'all? What's on your left side? I don't know if they know what's on the left side. On the right side. On the right side. Tap, 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 tap. Good. All right. Up on the hands. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Hopefully everybody listening on the side with the Facebook. Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, buddy.
On the open the inside. Good. On the outside.
Folks on Facebook having a good time enjoying the program, Dr. P.
And the inside. Yeah. Shout outs to everybody. Yeah. That's right. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. I'm going to do a little bit of the stretching here. Hands together. Hands together. Hands together. And raise them up and burn them. Go up. Good. 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 And stretch. Good. And stretch. Yes. And hold. And stretch. Good. Good. And stretch. And over to your left. To your left. Your left. Your left. Your other left. Your other left. Oh, that was my right.
Yeah.
And then over to your right.
Yep.
Good. Take your time. Take your time. Get that stretch in. And breathe and let it all down. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Breathe in. kid. We breathe in, stomach comes out, right? Go out, stomach comes down. Good. Good.
All right.
Good.
Yep.
Good. All right. Last one. Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up. All right. Clap it up. All right. Time to get that energy going, right, y'all?
Yep.
Now rub. Let's rub. We get prepared to do an energy bath. Clap and rub. Clap and rub. Clap and rub. Clap and rub. Clap. And clap. And rush it on down. Bring it on down.
Yeah.
Feel that energy. Oh, wow. Yeah. Feel that energy? All right, one more time. Clap and rub. Clap. Come on, get that rub going. Clap. Get that heat going. Clap. Clap. And clap. And hold. And bring that top one. Keep the bottom one still. Wow, you feel that energy? You can do like this and feel that energy right there. Take that big B. Bless yourself with good intentions. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And thank you for tuning in to the band.
The tree. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yo.
Everybody, let's see who can dance out there, Big B. Who can dance out there? Who can dance out there? Who's dancing, Big B? Show me who's dancing.
Get it, Martin.
Who's dancing?
Yeah, all right.
All right, go ahead. Do the mark.
Do the market.
I got it. All right.
Martin said, love yourself. Yep. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. God bless y'all. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you on the weekend. You got it, buddy. See ya on the weekend.
Yes. Can't feel this, you better check your pulse.
I know that's right. And if you're still moving, guess what? You can't see God working.
You can't see God giving, that's right.